China just won the moon, and nobody told you. While you were scrolling through your phone last night, Chinese engineers were finalizing plans for the first permanent lunar base. Not in 50 years, not in 20 years, by 2030. That's 5 years away. NASA? They're still trying to get a rocket off the ground that was supposed to launch in 2016. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. And whoever controls the moon controls a resource worth more than every oil field on Earth combined. The clock is ticking, and one superpower is already ahead. Remember what they taught you in school? The moon is a dead rock. Useless, just a pretty thing to look at during a full moon. Yeah, that was a lie. In 2009, NASA crashed a rocket into the moon's south pole, not by accident, on purpose. And what they found changed everything. Water, not a puddle, not a lake. Billions of tons of ice hiding in the permanently shadowed craters. Now here's where it gets wild. Water isn't just for drinking. Split it apart and you get hydrogen and oxygen. You know what that is? Rocket fuel. The moon just became a cosmic gas station. Every Mars mission, every asteroid mining operation, every deep space voyage, they can all refuel at the moon instead of dragging fuel from Earth. That cuts mission costs by 90%. But wait, there's more. And this is the part that should scare you. Helium-3. It's a rare element that barely exists on Earth. But the moon? It's covered in the stuff. One cargo load of helium-3 could power the entire United States for a year. Clean energy, no radiation, no waste. China has openly said they want this. NASA stays quiet about it. Then there are rare earth elements, the stuff inside your phone, your laptop, electric car batteries, solar panels, military tech. These materials are incredibly hard to mine on Earth. On the moon, they're sitting right on the surface. No digging required. Whoever gets there first doesn't just plant a flag. They control the future of technology on Earth. So how did China go from having zero space program to beating NASA? It started quietly. In 2007, China launched Chang'e 1, just a simple orbiter. The West laughed it off. Cute, they said. China's playing space explorer. Then, in 2013, Chang'e 3 landed on the moon. Still, people weren't worried. They're just catching up to what we did in the 1960s, right? Wrong. Here's what nobody noticed. While NASA was busy with Mars rovers and Instagram-worthy photos, China was building something else. A system. Every mission taught them something new. Every landing tested new technology. They weren't trying to impress anyone, they were training. Chang'e 4 lands on the far side of the moon. You know, the side we never see from Earth. The side NASA has never touched, ever. China did it like it was nothing. But here's the real flex. In 2020, Chang'e 5 went to the moon, scooped up samples, and came back. Fully automated, no humans needed. NASA and Russia were the only countries to ever do this before, but they used 1960s and 70s technology. China did it with robots controlled from Earth. The same tech NASA is still trying to develop for future missions. Oh, and every single mission? On time, on schedule. Zero delays. Now let's talk about their master plan because it's brilliantly simple. Phase 1, done. They've orbited, mapped, and studied the moon. Phase 2, happening now. More sample returns. They're picking the perfect spot for a base. Phase 3, 2028 to 2030. The first Chinese astronauts walk on the moon. Phase 4, build the International Lunar Research Station. A permanent base, growing, expanding, forever. And they're not doing it alone. Russia signed on, Pakistan signed on, Venezuela, South Africa, and more are joining. China is building a coalition. By the time their astronauts land, robotic systems will have already built the base for them. Think about that. they show up to a finished house. And speaking of showing up late, let's talk about NASA's rocket problem, because this is where things get embarrassing. NASA's Artemis program sounds incredible on paper. Return to the moon, build a base, explore sustainably, everything you'd want in a space program. The problem? Almost nothing works on time, and everything costs a fortune. The Space Launch System, or SLS, NASA calls it the most powerful rocket ever built, and technically they're right. But here's the catch. It was supposed to launch in 2016. It finally flew in 2022, 6 years late. And the cost? Each launch costs $4.1 billion, with a B. For comparison, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, which can do basically the same job, costs $150 million. That's not a typo. NASA is spending 27 times more per launch. But it gets worse. Artemis 2 was supposed to fly around the moon with astronauts in 2024. Now it's pushed to 2025. Maybe 2026? Artemis 3, the actual moon landing, was supposed to happen in 2024. Now NASA says maybe 2027, maybe 2028, maybe later. Meanwhile, the program has already burned through $93 billion. That's more than China has spent on their entire lunar program combined since 2007. So what's the problem? NASA is trying to do too much at once. They're building the SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft, a space station that orbits the moon called Gateway, a lunar lander from SpaceX, rovers, habitats, everything at the same time. And here's the kicker. The Lunar Gateway space station? A lot of experts say it's unnecessary. You don't need a space station orbiting the moon to land on the moon. NASA already proved that in 1969. But Gateway exists because it gives international partners something to build. It's politics pretending to be science. Now, don't get me wrong. If everything works, NASA's tech is better, way better. SpaceX's Starship lander could carry 100 tons to the moon in a single trip. That's more cargo than China could deliver in 10 missions. But here's the problem. Starship needs orbital refueling to work. That technology doesn't exist yet. China's lander is smaller, simpler, and based on proven systems. It can't carry as much, but it will definitely work. NASA is trying to build the perfect moon program. China is trying to build a good enough program that actually flies. Guess which strategy is winning? This isn't just about two countries anymore. The moon is reshaping global alliances. NASA created the Artemis Accords, basically a rule book for lunar activity. Don't interfere with other nations, share scientific data, be transparent about your plans. So far, over 30 countries signed on. Japan, the UK, India, Australia, all the usual suspects. But China? They're building their own club. The International Lunar Research Station comes with one promise: equal partnership. Doesn't matter if you're a superpower or a developing nation. Everyone gets a seat at the table. For countries that feel ignored by Western space programs, that's a pretty good deal. Now here's the scary part. There's no law about who owns what on the moon. The Outer Space Treaty from 1967 says no country can claim lunar territory, but it's super vague about commercial activity. Can a company mine the moon and keep the resources? NASA says yes. China says we need new international agreements first. Meanwhile, both sides are racing to establish facts on the ground, or facts on the moon. Whoever gets there first gets to set the rules. They pick the best landing sites, the richest resource deposits, and most importantly, they create precedents that could last for centuries. Oh, and let's address the elephant in the room: military implications. Both nations swear their programs are peaceful, but the moon offers some pretty obvious strategic advantages. You can observe Earth from the ultimate high ground, you can hide sensitive equipment where nobody can touch it, and if space weapon treaties ever collapse, the moon is the perfect launching point. China's space program is run by the People's Liberation Army. That's their military. NASA is civilian, but works closely with the newly created Space Force. Neither side trusts the other. So who's actually winning this race? Let's cut through the propaganda and look at facts. China's advantages: consistent funding, every mission on schedule, clear timelines, growing international support, and most importantly, they're actually flying missions, while NASA is still developing hardware. NASA's advantages: better technology when it works, decades of experience, a massive commercial space industry with SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others. More money, more international partners. If the race ended today, you'd have to give the edge to China. They're moving faster, spending smarter, getting results. Here's the likely timeline based on current progress. 2027 to 2028, China lands their first crew on the moon. 2028 to 2029, NASA lands Artemis 3. 2030, China begins building the International Lunar Research Station. 2031, NASA begins their base construction. 2035, both nations have permanent bases running. But here's the plot twist. This isn't a two-horse race anymore. India just landed at the moon's south pole with their Chandrayaan-3 mission. They did it for a fraction of NASA's budget, and they're planning crewed missions next. SpaceX is developing Starship with or without NASA. Elon Musk has his own lunar plans. If Starship works the way it's supposed to, SpaceX could build a base faster than either government. Private companies like Blue Origin, Intuitive Machines, and Astrobotic are all developing lunar tech. The moon could see a commercial gold rush. Russia, despite economic problems, partnered with China and brings decades of experience. The most realistic scenario isn't Chinese or American dominance. It's a messy lunar landscape with multiple bases, overlapping claims, and constant competition. Think Antarctica in space, but with way higher stakes. So why should you care about flags and footprints on a rock 240,000 miles away? Because the rules written on the moon will govern how humanity explores Mars, mines asteroids, and spreads throughout the solar system. The winner doesn't just get the moon, they get to write the rule book for the space age. If China wins, expect government control over space resources, state-led development, limited commercial activity, space exploration directed from Beijing. If NASA wins, expect chaotic innovation, private companies competing, commercial free-for-all, sometimes messy but fast-moving. But here's the real tragedy. This competition is preventing collaboration. Imagine if China and NASA actually worked together, combining China's efficiency with America's innovation. We could have lunar cities within a decade, real settlements, thousands of people living and working off-world. Instead, we're repeating Earth's mistakes, drawing borders, building walls, competing instead of cooperating. The moon doesn't care about our politics. It's been waiting 4.5 billion years. It'll wait a bit longer for humanity to grow up. The next 5 years will decide everything. China's crewed mission launches in about 3 years. NASA's timeline keeps slipping. The finish line is visible now, and one side is pulling ahead. But there's something happening behind the scenes that could change everything. Something neither government wants to talk about. A third player is making moves that could beat both superpowers to the punch. The moon race isn't over, it's just getting started, and the winner might not be who you expect. The question isn't whether humanity will return to the moon. The question is who gets there first, and what they'll do once they arrive. Because whoever controls the moon controls the gateway to everything beyond it. Mars, the asteroid belt, the outer solar system. The space age is beginning, right now, and most people have no idea it's even happening.